feels like they're being asked to fund a system that they don't even know about, they didn't design, and they have no control over the outcome. And that hurts. I'm Carolyn Pars, communicator, coach, and host of Just Power, a podcast about creating a clean energy future without leaving anyone behind. Join me as we explore the technologies, policies, and human stories that can make clean energy not just sustainable for our planet, but accessible for everyone. Welcome to Just Power. I am Carolyn Pars, and today's episode is just you and me. No guests, no panel, just a necessary conversation. One I wanted to have a long time. We're hearing so much about rising energy costs and affordability. It's everywhere, right? Maybe even on your bill. Last time you opened your bill might have been an eye-opener. Maybe even before you opened your bill, you took a deep breath, said a little prayer, and scrolled through the charges hoping that they made some kind of mistake. Well, some people I know have seen their bill double overnight. And that is not unusual. It is actually the reality of energy affordability today. And that reality doesn't just cause stress, it forces choices to be made. Choices for some like food or lights, medicine or heat, rent or keeping the power on. These are life and death sometimes choices. So today, I want to break it down into simpler language because energy can get complex pretty fast. So I'd like to help you understand where we are, what's going on, and where do we go from here without having to have a PhD in energy to figure it out. All right, so here we go. Energy first. Why is energy getting more expensive right now? And why is affordability now on the front line of the energy transition that we're in? Because here's the truth. If people cannot afford this energy system that we are building right now, the transition will fail. So many of my guests on my podcast have said that. It will fail. So what's really driving energy costs right now? We hear about fuel prices going up, food prices going up, inflation, electric vehicles, data centers that are booming and popping all over, heat waves, right? And yes, they all play a role in this transition. But the deeper truth is this. We are rebuilding the largest machine civilization has ever built. And that's our electric grid. And rebuilding it costs money. A lot of it, right? So why are we doing that right now? Number one, our infrastructure, right? Our grid has aged out. And meanwhile, our consumption of energy has increased. All the while protecting the grid, we're protecting it against wildfires, floods, and storms, right? Maybe you've experienced that yourself. Extreme heat situation. And we're also expanding transmission for renewable energy. We're preparing for a new demand, actually a massive new demand on homes and businesses and cars, all electrifying, right? So it is all necessary right now. But here's the part that most people don't understand and they're actually never told, right? These costs are passed directly onto you through your monthly bill, all of us. So while the grid of the future is being built, we're paying for it today. Today's families are carrying much of the financial load of this. So how can we create a clean energy future without leaving anyone behind, right? Which is what my podcast is all about. For years, we've been told that the clean energy future, right? Clean energy, renewable energy would save us money. The sun shines, the wind blows. These are natural resources. We can use them. And that is absolutely true long term. But short term, how are we going to pay for that? People are asked to foot the bill now on something that will have benefits for years to come and for our children and their children's children. So that's the paradox. We must electrify to reduce emissions, and electrification increases demand, right? And higher demand requires new infrastructure, and new infrastructure increases rates, period. And for many people that may not understand how that all works, it feels like they're being asked to fund a system that they don't even know about, they didn't design, and they have no control over the outcome. And that hurts. But who gets hurt the most? For higher income homes, a rising power bill definitely is frustrating. For low income homes, it's devastating. Energy burden, which is the percentage of income spent on your electricity bill, falls hardest on many different types of people. Seniors, fixed income folks, your grandma, right? The little man next door. Those seniors, that hurts. Renters who move in and they get what they get because that's what's there, and they have no control over that. That hurts them too. Rural families where access to energy just costs more. Tribal families, households that already are juggling that medical and food and housing costs, hurts more. These families, when energy becomes unaffordable, dangerous choices, frankly, have to be made, like the unsafe heating methods, overcrowded living situations, debt spirals, shutoffs, service shutoffs, right? And the like. So energy insecurity, that's what we call energy insecurity, is not an abstract idea. It is a lived experience every single day for so many people. And that is only increasing. You may be feeling it right now. So why then does our system keep doing this? Shouldn't we have figured this out already? Well, we've designed a system, right, to guarantee cost, what they call cost recovery, right? That was set in motion over 100 years ago, but not so much affordability because back then, not many people were using electricity, okay? So utilities invest in infrastructure, regulators approve or disapprove those investments, and then ratepayers, customers, you and me, absorb the costs. And that's how it's been. And there's really no villains in the story. It's not about that. What's just happened is the way that business was set up. It was a system structured around capital, not around affordability or people. It was around a capital outlay. But here's the good news. There is good news. We already know how to make energy affordable today. We have the tools. We have the technology. But it would require a collective yes from all parties. This is where it gets a little tricky, but a collective yes. And I want to show you some of what some of those yeses look like so you have more control over your energy bill. So let's start with the cheapest form of energy that we have. How about that? What is that? Is it solar? Wind? Natural gas? No, actually, it's none of those. The cheapest energy we will ever have is the energy we never use, right? The energy we never use. So when homes have energy efficient appliances, LED lights, good insulation, smart thermostats, all of these contribute to lowering your energy bill. Because they simply use less energy, right? Less electricity to do the same things that we do every single day, to stay comfortable, to cook, to work, to live. So that means smaller bills, and that means less stress on the grid. So energy efficiency saves money before a single new power plant ever needs to be built. Number 2, weatherizing your home. So what does that mean? Weatherization means fixing the basics. Leaky windows, drafty doors, poor insulation, old furnaces, air conditioners, all of that and more. So when a home is properly weatherized, heat stays permanently in the winter and cool air stays permanently during the summer. And the key word here is permanent. Unlike a one-time bill credit, weatherization lowers your bill year after year. It improves comfort, it improves safety and health, it improves your living experience. And it's not a temporary patch. It's a multi-decade solution, weatherizing your home. Number 3, income-based rate design. Woo! Income-based rate design. What does that mean? And this one's a little controversial, so stick with me, okay? So right now, most people pay the same price, right, per unit, whatever of electricity. We're all, no matter what our income, we're paying the same price. And that means when someone gets a $500 bill on their energy bill, that's totally annoying. And if you're in a high income home, that is frustrating, but devastating if you're living paycheck by paycheck. Income-based rate design, your rate that you pay, adjusts the bill based on what your household can, right, realistically afford. Similar to how taxes work, right? It doesn't mean that power becomes free. It means that families aren't pushed to the crisis level, okay, just to survive. So stability, the point of it is stability becomes possible. Go ahead and listen to my show with Jeff Ackerman on innovative designs, rate designs that are coming down the pike. And tune in next week, because next week he's going to be back on talking about how it's going. This is happening now, not just in Colorado, where Jeff is from, I'm also from, but other states as well. All right, number 4, community solar. Most people can't put solar on their roofs, right? Because they might rent, they might live in an apartment, or condo, they have shaded roofs, or they just can't afford it. That upfront costs can be pretty steep. Community solar fixes all of that, right? And so instead of installing panels at home, you subscribe to a shared solar project in your town, and you receive credits on your bill. So it's like having solar on your roof without having the panels on the roof. And that means you don't even have to have a roof. No roof is required, no installation, no upfront investments, and lower monthly bills. Nice, right? So clean energy stops being this exclusive thing, solar, and becomes accessible to all of us. So check with your city on that. Be on that committee that can make that happen. Okay, number 5, demand response programs. Demand response programs. What is that? The grid, let's just start. The grid was built to meet the highest demand of the year, that scorching day when everybody is flipping on their air conditioner, right? But do we need that energy, that that demand every day. No, we don't. So demand response programs help people shift when they use electricity. So for example, your thermostat pre-cools your home. Your water heater runs at night when it's cheaper, right? You get bill credits for reducing peak demand, okay? And when enough people participate in that, utilities avoid building massive new infrastructure, rates stay lower, the grid becomes more stable, right? And it's a pretty sweet thing. Think of it like traffic management for electricity, right? Traffic management for electricity. I love that. Here we go. Here's number 6, direct bill assistance. And many utilities have this for if the reason why is like if a family or an individual misses a payment, it can trigger a slew of uncertainty for them. And then there's just the ripple effect of that. Like late fees mount, shut off notices happen, reconnection charges occur along the way, credit damage, emergency borrowing can happen. It's not ideal at all. As a matter of fact, it can be pretty devastating for family and difficult for the utility. So direct bill assistance steps in before that spiral gets started because it helps families stay connected and avoid unsafe alternatives so they stay current on their bills and they stabilize financially. It isn't a handout. It's preventive. Think of it as preventative care for the energy system. We have that for medicine. Preventative care for the energy system. Okay, my final point today is directed towards decision makers, the utility executives who so much of my podcast is for, right? Offering ideas to make our clean energy future work. So this is what I want to say. Every rate decision is a values statement you are making. I want to say that again. Every rate decision is a value statement you're making. So when you're silent on affordability, on what's going on right now, it sends a loud message. Because if affordability collapses, public trust collapses, political stability collapses, and the clean energy transition collapses. It fails, like I said at the beginning of the show. Energy equity is not a side project for later on. It is the foundation for our future of long-term success. So do it now. Make it happen now. Don't wait for political headwinds to change. These are your customers. Take good care of them. Equity is another word for affordability. A just transition is not only measured in carbon, it is measured in community safety, in dignity, and determination. So if people can't survive the transition, they'll never support it. On Just Power, we believe in a clean energy future where we leave no one behind. Because energy is not a luxury. It is the foundation for modern life. So I hope that this episode was helpful to you. And I hope I broke it down some so that you might understand some of the complex concepts that you hear all the time and you might not be quite sure how it works. I hope you understand it a little bit better and can implement some of the things that I shared with you today. And if this episode resonates with you, go ahead and share it. Use your voice, use your willpower, use your determination, because we are all in this together. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to Just Power wherever you get your podcasts. And if you really loved it, leave us a review and tell everyone you know about our podcast. It's going to take all of us to create a clean energy future that leaves no one behind.